so good. We haven't seen her yet, I don't think, on the Horizon Cup stage, if my memory is serving me, which is not a guarantee at any rate, as we are going to get ourselves into the opening for Sengoku, their first time here in Singapore on the stage for Horizon Cup, up against the currently undefeated ThunderTalk.
Yeah, well, they played one series, but yeah, currently undefeated. On the opposite side of that Hawk matchup that you were talking about, it is of course Rush and Hawk is the main focus for Sengoku. That mid-jungle duo is a mid. It's a big boy. Z, who's been so scary so far in that mid lane, adapting from the top lane, going back to his previous role as a mid laner. And Hawk, one of the most mechanically impressive mid laners, is going to have to bring out his very best to go toe-to-toe with the player some people have been touting on this broadcast as the best player in the world.
He's definitely gotten the hands for it, I'll tell you that much. After watching Z's games yesterday, very impressive mechanically, as Riven is going to get taken off the table from him. Not too surprising. Fiora banned on the other side, and we got Senna, Rakan, Renekton, and Camille to finish things off.
We do get a very early Ziggs pickup here.
That's
Hawk.
not a Kali.
I know, I'm sorry.
Could be bot lane though. I still have hope.
It's kind of a Hawk pick. He'll run it pretty often. And he loves it because he can just stall out mid lane. He can just hit the hold button. The hold music starts playing, and Z, who's this incredibly mechanically talented player, if Hawk plays this as he wants to, will just not get to press the buttons.
Which is never fun. Varus once again making an appearance. I feel like especially for all of the Eastern teams, they definitely latch onto this pick.
Varus's damage is a little more spread out. It's harder to land sustained damage on Varus because all the damage is concentrated in those arrows. So if you miss any of the arrows, you're doing less DPS than other AD carries. Here's a wild idea though, Pastry. What if you don't miss?
If you got the aimbot on, the Legolas buff.
Don't say that. Okay, you can't say that.
There we go.
And you're going to have a really solid front line for it as well. That's the kind of 1-2 punch of a good Varus composition is, okay, you've got the Varus, one of the other things he offers is a ton of CC with that Chains of Corruption. So if you can build around the idea of stopping engage, setting up defensively, then you're going to have a great time. And we're not only defensive here, we've also got a Malphite.
I forgot Malphite was in the game.
Yeah, you know what?
Everyone's been like, what are all these bruisery tanky champions? They just play like tanks. There's a real tank for you right on the screen. They take Yasuo. They are deadly afraid.
I'll tell you why you might have forgotten. Sometimes I have a Malphite in my games, and I forget that he's in the game as well. Because you could do two things on Malphite. You can go AP, which I assume we're not going to see here because it's a meme, or you can go all in on just providing CC value in the top lane, being a big beefy boy. And
What is going on?
We're going. ThunderTalk. Wow.
What is going on?
I don't know where this Zed is going.
I don't know where the Malphite's going.
That's top. Malphite's top.
Okay. What about Diana?
Or support. You're right. I don't know. Okay.
Is Nunu even a real
Diana
a real
top,
juggler?
Malphite support, Zed mid. That's the call.
Also, there's no marksman on the Sengoku side.
That's
Like, their draft is also sweet.
Because they had to take the Yasuo away.
Right.
So the Yasuo gets ripped away from the Malphite Diana, obviously. That's terrifying. And they need to play the Yasuo mid now, so this marksman will be a Ziggs. So we're going to put that Ziggs down in Juan's hands. Juan, not bad, kind of sustained damage dealer. He'll do all right on the Ziggs.
Definitely feel like, your read for Hawk there was correct. Someone that does love to have the Ziggs. I think that was the original intention, but as you mentioned, a very good pivot.
Break glass in case of Malphite. Absolutely cannot allow a Yasuo to go to that team competition.
If they had just taken the Yasuo, what would have
I know.
happened?
Who's counterpicking Malphite? It's not going to get taken away from you.
This is so spicy, but it does seem like... You know what? I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait until
I was right.
I'm
going to call it early. I was exactly right. Malphite's going support.
All right.
Dead mid.
That's 12K. Whipping out the Malphite support for the first time ever in the Horizon Cup. That's normal.
Are you convincing yourself or me? I'm not sure.
I'm trying to convince the audience.
All right. You can do it. You have decent AP poke, which is the big thing. So you're a beefy boy, you've got some CC. I'm not a gigantic fan. I think that, frankly, there are just better supports, but ThunderTalk are from the region, that being China, that really loves to just put anything with raw HP in that support role. They also play Garen support. So when all you're looking for is a health bar, Malphite fulfills that.
Certainly does, as we are going to see some action. Also, there's Alistar in the game, which I also believe is the first time that champion has been on screen here for Horizon Cup. So there's, you know what? Yasuo wasn't just amazing on ThunderTalk's team. It's not bad on Sengoku's either.
Yeah, well, you got the Alistar from Deja Vu, who Deja Vu is a very good Alistar player. We've seen it a couple of times. Alistar's out of meta because it's very hard to tank on Alistar right now. It's very hard to be a tank in general. F in the chat for my fellow support mains. But when you have a Yasuo, you don't need to tank. You just got to land those knockups.
And just, you know, flash in, hit the Q button, and you know, let go of the phone. You're done at that point. You don't need it anymore.
Exit Wild Rift and call your parents because you just won the game.
All right, this is going to be a fun one to watch develop here, TD. There's a lot going on already.
Yeah, I want to refocus a little bit here on the mid lane where we do have just the dream duel somehow. It all worked out. And we get Z playing a high mechanics character into Hawk with the Yasuo. It's not a bad matchup for Hawk because he can win wall a lot of the damage out of Z, especially during this laning phase. So there's pressure, I think, for Sengoku that we already established it, but doubly so now on Hawk as the Yasuo, as the keystone of this Sengoku draft.
Chris, good driving there in the snowball, but doesn't quite connect. I will say, though, like, the thing impressed me about Z yesterday is watching his play, right, and how he moved and operated his champions. I'm already getting that feeling watching Hawk play Yasuo. These are two very talented mid laners.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be an absolute blast in the mid lane. You've got a kind of quiet top lane. I know we love to set up the top lane here for ThunderTalk. Z playing in that top lane always spectacular. But Feibai's a little bit of a more quiet utility player, and Kai is the quintessential quiet utility player. He's going to sit up there, he's going to be safe. Kai pretty much never loses lane, but he also doesn't create leads. He's going to play to the team fights towards the late game, which means a lot of your attention can be focused down here on the bottom half of the map. That mid lane, yes, but also down here, where you've got the majority of these two teams poke. Whoever wins that lane gains a massive advantage during trading.
There's so much anime happening in the mid lane there as he dancing around the incoming tornadoes. Bottom side, though, it's Chris once again with a good driving. Snowball straight down to the bottom side, drifts all the way around.
That was parallel parking right there. The presence of Chris as he goes over the board means that Sengoku know there's three players there, and I love the respect. They just back away. Fine, we were going to reset anyway, Pastry. Go back to base, grab their buys, come back to lane in a moment.
So many little things happening here as these two continue to battle, and it does seem like they are willing to scrap.
Oh, yeah. Both Hawk and Z are bored if they are not going for solo kills. So this is just going to be a great time. Hawk, his favorite way to play the game is to sit quiet in lane for the first, I would say, 5 minutes, and you'll see him around the time of First Dragon just start trying to generate a solo kill.
All right, well, looks like recall's coming already, so Z's going to get out of the pressure that was incoming from the Yasuo, but good items for Hawk on that recall. It is top side, though, where Chris, once again, is pushing the snowball down the proverbial hill, and this time it is directed towards Kai, who is going to get out to safety. Just barely getting out of there.
Yeah, Kai on the Darius able to play a little bit more defensively in this lane. And ThunderTalk not generating a whole lot out of this early game. Chris waddling forward here, but I don't think anything will come of it. And that's a worrying sign for ThunderTalk. They really want to be generating leads during this time, because as we go later, Hawk's going to get Scarron.
Z needs this kill, I think, to get things going. Now going to pop the death puck. That's going to be it! And indeed, it's first blood for Z once again as bottom side. It's opening up, and everyone walks away.
But as you said, that's very important for ThunderTalk because it gets gold onto their Zed. And if you don't have a gold lead as Zed, you don't one-shot people. And if you don't one-shot people, you're not playing a champion, you're just playing an extra mobile ward. So Z getting this opening kill, managing to shut down Kai on the top side, makes everything a little bit easier for ThunderTalk. It gives them real weaponry coming into the mid-game team fights. Coming into the early game team fights, like this Drake, like this Rift Herald, both of which are being contested simultaneously.
Yeah, straight trade, actually. Don't see that much of this, but it is ThunderTalk. Gonna go ahead and grab the Herald. It's actually we're trying to make it happen. Hawk finds the knock-up onto Chris. Chris with the absolute zero as Feibai goes back through, but now the rest of Sengoku what a kick there from the Lee. He's gonna gift the kill over to Kai.
Feibai scooped out for the team. A roundhouse delivery for Rush. Same day delivery. And ThunderTalk are suddenly down their top laner.
Gonna take some plates here for Azua, but That's gold that Sengoku will be happy to have. It's nice punish here on the Herald tank.
Yeah, check this out. The Alistair stun from Deja Vu. He sits on it, he waits on the auto attack so he can cancel the absolute zero, and Chris just has no cooldowns as a result to prevent that.
All right, bottom side. Oh, that's 12k. Looking a little dicey. Taking a lot of damage there out of one.
See, there's two sides to Malphite. On one hand, they can't really do anything to you because you're big. On the other hand, you can't really do anything to them because all you are is big.
He is going Rod of Ages, though, which is exciting.
Yeah, I expect you'll see a pivot towards tank items after this. Going Rod of Ages first item basically just means that you're leveling a little bit more. And typically, once you go Rod of Ages first item, you see a return to just Dead Man's Plate, a little bit more HP.
All right, well, perhaps if they get, big injection of gold on the Malphite, we'll change things up. For now, though, it is going to be a shift of lane assignments here. So he's going to go down, start side laning here with his first item. Ghostblade already done. We're going to park the dual lane here in mid as ThunderTalk. Going to try and make use of the Herald that Fabai still has in hand.
6 minutes into game, the gold is dead even. The kills are dead even. Neither of these two teams earning an advantage as Sengoku have matched ThunderTalk blow for blow.
Waddle down once again from Chris. They are staying active here. Malphite ulti, of course, ready. Z actually being protected here. I like that, as they are going to make sure he continues to get that gold. It's not a kill, but it is still very valuable for the Zed.
And giving him gold, Deja Vu and Rush try to make something happen in the mid lane as recompense, and they don't get it. So, for the first time, a little bit of gold getting passed over towards ThunderTalk. They draw a little bit of separation with that first turret break.
We'll see how long that lasts, though. Up about 2k. Chris.
Overextension.
2v2, 2v3, though, incoming 2v4. I take it all back. The math not checking out here. Nice ulti there out of Z. He's going to have to get his way out there.
Whoa!
He's going to be the target. He's got stun. I think that's not enough. The stun, though, is good. He flashes in Z. Tries to finish up the kill, but instead, Rush takes him out.
Beautifully played by Sengoku. 3 players on like 1 HP, but it all works out. They get out of the mess. With Z taken down a peg, drawing necessary gold away from the key carry of ThunderTalk. Here's the problem though, ThunderTalk, a Chinese team always looking at their sideline angles. They, in the meantime, summon a Rift Herald and crash it, taking the tier 1 in the top lane, meaning that yes, Sengoku got the kills. The gold lead though, firmly in the grasp of ThunderTalk.
Yeah, looking good right now. Almost 3k for them, as I thought there was nothing there for Z. So the fact that he almost made it something was impressive, but I will say even more impressive that Sengoku deflected that very fancy looking play to prevent anyone from getting killed. And now they're just going to keep going.
What is
There's
this?
the dunk into the combo.
He doesn't care.
Ziggs, and he's just too big.
You're literally beating up a rock. Go find a better use of your time.
Ziggs got some pretty big explosives, not enough to fell a whole mountain yet, out of one.
Not yet. It'll kind of depend on gold. Malphite tends to pull off as a tank towards late game, especially with his Rod of Ages build. If you go full tank items, it gets a little better, but to put it bluntly, Malphite's not great. His biggest utility in this team comp would be as set up for the rest of the team, and he does have a decent amount of that. He can set up for Fabai, he can set up for Chris's Absolute Zero, and both of those distractions buy space. You're looking at that space for setting up Azure, who can sit behind all that CC and pump out damage. Very important.
All right, Herald 2 is up, and both teams are going to fight for it. It's Sengoku that started getting it done very quickly, actually. Z going into Fog, but Deju has actually found the angle. He's going in deep to try and take out one. A little bit of damage, though, as the Herald does go to Sengoku. That's 12k, trouble. Good kick there for Rush into the Yasuo ulti. Malphite counter ult's not enough. That is a 4-man ulti, but there's nothing surrounding him. It's Z. Gonna try and take out Kai at least to get something back for his trouble, but there's just nothing. He didn't even get that kill.
Kai lives! That's incredible stuff from Kai, and here comes the pressure on the Chris as the mid turret falls.
All right, Chris lives, but Herald smashed down the tower there.
And that's 12k. Azure, they both get booked plane tickets. I don't know where they were going, but that travel just kept going. Really well played by the main thrust of Sengoku, demonstrating that synergy between Rush, Hawk, and Deja Vu as they act as this beautiful 3-man core. They're always going to have so much setup for Hawk, and one of the things people get wrong about Wild Rift Yasuo is, yeah, he's got damage in those ultimates, but also keep an eye on those auto attacks. As we get further into this build around second crit item, he's going to start really shredding people with that sword alone.
Yeah, you can just click on him at some point once you get enough items. Just tap the attack button until they're dead. It's a great time.
my advice for any character.
Yeah, true.
Can't go on Stone Flame.
No ulti. Yeah, he's like, you know what? I need to build a bigger mountain. I got last time, never again.
Yeah, rough times if you're trying to kill that Malphite, but the good news is not a whole lot is going to come out of that Malphite. Like I talked about, if you land the Dream combo, if you land the full ult unstoppable course from the Malphite, follow it up with the Moonfall, follow that up with the Absolute Zero. Teamfights are trouble for Sengoku, but Sengoku have so many tools to make sure that doesn't happen. They have so much disruption and engage. The real thing is they need to be the ones engaging. So, here you go.
Barrier for Feibai, it just doesn't matter. It's 3 people, it's again, it's Yasuo +1, and the 1 is always good to set it up as Rush grabs the kill.
That's what I mean. Thank you for the visual demonstration, Sengoku. They have so much good engage that as long as they are picking and choosing the time of the duel, they will always win.
All right, well, I'm kind of curious what the plan for ThunderTalk is, because that gold is even back out. They had a few thousand gold in the lead, but that has been diminished basically to nothing as Z is trying to make it happen in the side lane.
And one of the things I'm worried about here is Z, because Z is not doing as well as you would like him to be in the gold department. They dumped a whole lot into him, but he's not got the most gold in the game. He's sitting in 2nd place, and I'm not sure he has enough to one-shot key characters on the enemy side. He needs to find more gold, have the ability to burst people down as the assassin, because if he can't one-shot one, if he can't one-shot Hawk when they make mistakes, there's not really an angle for ThunderTalk to win these teamfights.
Deju
Boom.
getting aggressive.
What are you going to do about that?
Nothing, apparently. Z's just wandering around trying to find someone to kill, and Sengoku are correctly giving him nothing, as Rush and Deju once again are gonna cause trouble. The rest of Sengoku do come through. Dragon not up yet, but it's not too far away. It does tick down back to respawn. It's 1 apiece so far. ThunderTalk arguably with a better piece of pie. Z, that slow is good, but there's no follow-up.
Losing track of the push a little bit.
Oh, hello. Chris with a nice snowball. Deju forced to pop the ulti. Alistar going back through. The Ziggs ulti's going to combo with it, but Yasuo is not there to make it happen. S12K does already ult defensively there.
That's
Feibai into the back line. They're going to get 1 kill there, but Feibai needs to make it happen on the back end. There's the kill onto Ziggs. 1 is felled. Huck is dead, and it's almost a 3rd as Feibai will fall to the Darius, but Z is going to finish off Deju. 3 for 2 there for ThunderTalk.
A messy teamfight breaks in favor of ThunderTalk as they find isolated Deju at the top of the river, follow it up with pressure.
And here we go again for the Axe replay as we watch ThunderTalk try and make it happen.
Rush sweeps into the side here, full committing to save the fight, and it seems risky to me at first, but then watch this, Kai. Oh, that's beautiful. The setup for Hawk. Hawk follows through, and I believe, but he just needs a full face truck of damage and goes down in the second that Hawk is down. Well, the only teamfight damage you have is Kai and Rush, and they're not going to be doing anything flashing.
Yeah, pretty easy to kite Kai around. Z once again isolating a soft target. Does have 3 items now, but Kai is not the target he is looking for. Back in on the death mark, though now skating back around his Huck. He's going to be running interference, stopping him in his tracks. Not enough yet, but there is Deju flying through. The cow takes him out, but S12K is trying to turn it back around himself. Feibai dives into the team. Azua over the wall is just hitting them with every single arrow, but the double knock up there onto Alistar is going to stop it all, and Azua just can't get enough kills. He is going to get another, but Rush now in the Drake pit as Azua's getting zoned off by 1, and Rush just gets it, puts him in a stasis. There's nothing left to do. It's Huck that spins around. It's Kai, excuse me, as Huck is dead, and Azua finally
do this?
is felled. They
don't have smite. They don't have smite, and Huck's right here, waiting for a chance to go in. S12K hovering around the side. He'll walk away. Okay. They don't have a smite. They do the Mega Inferno Bomb. Everything's great. Everything's fine for Sengoku. Starts off with a very messy engage from Z onto Kai, who could not care less. And then ring the cowbell. Boom!
His engages are so good, even with that ulti out of Alpha, even with Azua on this position, just don't have enough damage here to finish off this fight.
I think this might be game though, because that is the dream fight in many ways for ThunderTalk. Azure's hovering over the side, just pumping in damage. We're still going.
All right, yeah, you know what? Fight is one thing, side lane skirmish is another. S12K picks one up, but Z gets stuck. Kai is just too powerful. 5-1 and 3 now on the Darius as S12K is going to run away.
This is the scariest cow I've seen since 6th grade.
Not gonna ask what happened, we'll have that story another time. S12K. Again, okay, but Deji will make sure that turret gets finished off.
Good pressure into the side lanes there from Sengoku to keep things even. And here's what I was gonna say. The dream fight here is all that CC damage up front, Azure hovering around the back, throwing out arrows. That was it, Pastry. It didn't start on the greatest foot, Z getting focused down, but you had so much time for Azure to just throw arrows into the team, and he wasn't missing, but he's just not got the damage. He's not scaled to parity. You're getting more out of one than you are Azure at this stage of play, and the assassins, the damage dealers from Sengoku came to play. Rush showing off his old man fingers with a deep flash dive onto Azure at the end of that. One of the sickest plays of the tournament so far.
Yeah, Rush at one point was easily leading gold in this game. Now it's actually overtaken by Kai after that last exchange, but still all translating to a Sengoku gold lead right now, up about 2K. Very back and forth still, but it does feel like comp-wise and with how things are going, Sengoku feeling very comfortable in this spot.
You got a Yasuo on this team, you've got a Ziggs on this team. Unless something goes very wrong with regards to Azure and Feibai, who I think are the ThunderTalk main leading hopes at this point, I think Sengoku are on the victory march. This looks very good for them.
See if they can finish it off then. ThunderTalk going to be playing defense for a little bit. Make sure the Baron does not get attempted. Chris is going to try and find out where they are. Oh, what a play out of S12K onto one. He's going to force the fight for Deju with the counter engage. Now Z trying to finish off. He's going straight back through. But Azure in a little bit of trouble. Z's so low as they just can't do anything. Azure though is going to live. Kai, the one to fell is great, but Rush is trying to get into the stasis. Can they protect it for longer? ThunderTalk trying to make it work, but Huck is running amok in the backlines there, and ThunderTalk just cannot find the fight.
Dejuo is terrifying. He just dashes through the entire team fight. Chris, very good placement of the Absolute Zero. Set it up to split the fight. It doesn't matter because the entire fight's already passed him by, simply from the aggression of the tanks. Watch this engage. Dejuo, Protobell, full charge in with the headbutt pulverize. Azure has to burn flash to disengage, which means this entire time, there's just no value add from their key carry. Finally, he does take down the deep dive from Kai, but by that point, all the stalling tools have been spent, and Sengoku can march forward with cooldowns ready to go and win the fight.
Well, Sengoku, Baron is alive. They are back in the area. Next dragon is going to be 25 seconds. That is the Elder Ocean, which both teams will be happy to grab, but Sengoku are moving pieces to the top side of the map first. They're wanting to draw them in for this Baron.
Just hovering near it. Sengoku aren't a very aggressive macro team, so I think they're going to play towards this Elder Drake instead. It is up in just a couple of seconds, and it is kind of the only Hail Mary for ThunderTalk. They need a whole lot of true damage to turn this game, and this is their way into it, so they're setting up for this wombo combo team fight.
Chris with the ultimate bait.
Yeah. And Deju is not biting.
No, I like this from Sengoku. Very disciplined here. I mean, Chris is going to take an Eon to finish the Elder anyway, so no rush, as they are going to slowly retake control of this part of the map.
Sorry, say ThunderTalk and walk away. Having to reset, wanting to approach this from range, leverage the power of Azure on those pokes. He's still playing pretty darn well, he's not missing arrows. Unfortunately, he's just not got the damage to be a big threat. And Sengoku, the pressure's not on them. They win the late game scaling battle. GA just completed for Hawk. That's a massive get. No reason for them to force a fight. ThunderTalk are just left here kind of withering on the vine with no real access to this game.
One Ziggs ulted a single cannon minion. That is how much time Sengoku feel like they have.
Got rid of the cannon minion.
Exactly, which you needed to.
That's value.
That mid-outer is still there. It is so tough for ThunderTalk to find any space around the objective. They're just straight forcing at this point as Kai is going to pull in Chris. He's going to go ahead and pop the stun. S12K misses one with a great flash out of the Ziggs. Now S12K is in trouble. Hack is going to be the target for Z's eye, but he goes golden. Still has the Guardian Angel as well as now Z. It's going to dive back through. He's going to get the GA there as Z is popping off. He kills one in the backside of the fight as Feibai has also dove through. There's the kill that Feibai needs as Kai now is moving in as Rush still with the GA, but Feibai is going to sacrifice himself. But Deju is maybe going to go down as Z wants something else. Feibai lived for so long, by the way, but Kai finally kills him.
And Dejuo's over-aggression finally gets punished as a dive comes onto the Sengoku backline, and there's no Alistar to protect them. meaning that Z can set up the team fight he wants. Here's the pressure as the fight starts. Dejuo, look at him in the very top of your screen, looping around, threatening Azure. That works. Azure doesn't gain access to this fight. The bad news is Z gets free reign. Hawk, GA blown immediately. One into stasis. Mega Inferno Bomb spent defensively, doesn't stop Z. And as a result, this fight goes wrong. Dejuo, too far forward.
Great, trustful there for Feibai, going in after Z, deep into the enemy backline, knowing they can make it happen, and Kai just able to barely finish off that kill there. Darius still very much a threat, but if ThunderTalk had had a little more health, a little more anything even, it would have been a more significant team fight win. Instead, they're just resetting the mid, and oh goodness, Chris punted straight back towards the tower, but Z is just diving onto one. He's picked him off amidst 4 different champions.
He delivers on the late game. I didn't think he had. Sliding into one. The middle of a team fight underneath the turret. And ThunderTalk's star mid laner finds the necessary kill to start this Elder fight.
Oh, Dejuo, what a massive Q. Finds 2 there for Hawk, but the other side of the fight's going wrong. On the Sengoku side, the Elder also up in the air, but it's not even close. Z's gonna dive back in onto the Alistar, and ThunderTalk with the team fighting.
They've done it!
Team fighting disadvantage. They get the ace, they get the Elder.
The Elder back in ThunderTalk's pockets. They've got a massive advantage for the rest of this game. It might not be over. There will be respawns, but it's going to be an uphill battle from here on out, because you thought Z was scary before, now he's got true damage.
Just the way they are weaving through these fights is incredible.
Dejuo again on the frontline dive, setting up for Hawk, trying to make the combo happen, and Z denies him everything.
Z's just going in, the game's over. They got the Nexus, they got the Elder, they ignored the Baron, screw it. Just take them all down. See, he fountain dove. He fountain dove on Zed to kill one last time as ThunderTalk complete the comeback and lead the series 1-0.
I heard the thunder and I was wondering where was the lightning. I've now beheld it as well, Pastry. That is terrifying.
Like, again, cannot overstate how tricky those fights are to play. They did not have the ease of execution in the late game 5v5.
That was an uphill battle, and they get a couple of windows. Some over-aggression from Alistair, a couple of split team fights that their composition benefits from, because they have so many assassins, so many duelists. They never want to 5v5, they always want to take the 3v3, the 2v2. And they managed to generate it in the middle of the messiest 5v5s I've ever seen and correctly execute on it every single time. That is very impressive from ThunderTalk.
And this is like kind of a thing that's only Zed can do in a lot of ways. But like, if you're not getting a skirmish, just make your own skirmish. Like, you want to duel somebody? Z's like, okay, well, they're not coming to me in the 1v1, so I'll just find the 1v1 in the 1v4.
Starts ordering off menu, just describing his own dish, and it works out. He's finding repeatedly one who's just going to be so upset because he doesn't have any. Yeah, he doesn't have any defense, and it's very easy to go, oh well, that's Dejuo's fault. Dejuo needs to be on the front lines, otherwise they don't have engage for Hawk. They don't have support for Hawk, who's quite rightly the carry of the team. You need Hawk to get the benefit of Dejuo in these fights, so you end up with this weird split team fight because of how aggressive Z is getting, because of the fact that he's getting into the backlines on one. People need to stay back and defend him. People are trying to support Hawk. You got 2 team fights, you've ordered off menu, they've made you the dish, and you're eating it.
All right, well, Tita, we're going to have to take a break after that one, because that was a very exciting win. And for more on that, let's throw it to Gabby and the crew in Singapore.
But I want to see it anyway. We get a draft where ThunderTalk, during game number 1, caused the wildest mid-draft pivot I've ever seen. We resulted in 2 teams that didn't get what they wanted, and that's always the path to great games. Here in game number 2, I want to see the response from Sengoku. It's become just terrifyingly clear that you cannot let Z get any kind of assassin, any kind of duelist pick in this draft, and oh my. Pastry, I believe that's what we call a response ban.
Yes, respect is earned, and Z has earned it after that game. Zed is going to be taken off the table there by Sengoku alongside Senna. Another Z champion banned, of course. Fiora going to continue to get respect. Also, Riven's getting banned because don't give them that either. Redacting Camille, we're done. Let's have the first pick.
Z's champ pool is 2 of the 3 bans for Sengoku. We did see Z play Orianna when his Zed and his Riven were taken away. It didn't look as dominant as his Assassin performances, but he still looked good on it. Here's take 2 for Sengoku. Second time's the charm. This time, Hawk says, I'ma get my Zed.
Yes, no more pivoting over to the Yasuo, which I guess is a Z pick based on the texture of the last draft. Let's see what happens though. Nunu I did like a lot from Chris, actually. I feel like ThunderTalk have played that pick very well in the times we've seen it. And Azure continuing to be a quiet star here for ThunderTalk, having a really great Varus game in the first one here as well.
Yeah, his Varus mechanically was good. He just got bullied in the early game. As did Z, to be fair. I thought that game was over. I didn't think Z would ever come back into the kind of damage he had in that late game, but he just finds these angles in the side lanes. Declares, these are my minions now. Cleans up a couple waves and marches his way back into it. Love to see what that star player is pulling out in the second half of this draft. They gave a full-on counter pick last time.
And it feels like, you know, even though he may have changed roles, a lot of like his style and his swagger hasn't changed, right? Like, he is kind of doing things on Zed that he would do on Fiora if he was in the Baron lane still. I
will point out, in contrast to the ThunderTalk we saw in the WPL, Z is getting played to. That game was about Z's Zed. Whereas during the WPL, Z was just kind of in the top lane, vibrating at an incredibly high frequency. Not getting a whole lot of jungle attention, but destroying lane. Oh my.
Oh, we're doing it. They're like, hey, remember the last draft where he picked them Malphite in the wrong order? Now we're going to pick it in the right order.
Do you think this is Malphite last pick?
I hope so.
God, I hope so. Opposite side, Sengoku want to scale. You go Olaf here because it's not affected by the CC. That gives you a front line that can kind of zone off the Yasuo. This isn't a terrible draft for Sengoku, but it certainly does sting to see ThunderTalk get so much of what they want here. I like that. Full committing to the late game here, high mobility on the Corki, able to kind of keep himself out of trouble. And if they can get to the late game, they'll be able to match the Yasuo. They've got Ziggs, they've got Corki, both of them will do significant damage at range and be able to burn through his HP. It's going to be hard to get there though, because one good combo and this is over. Is Malphite?
I mean, even without it is! They figured it out!
It was the wrong order last time, Phase 3! You gotta pick the Yasuo first, then the Malphite, because what we didn't realize is nobody's ever contesting the Malphite.
Exactly! They already got their support. They're not taking Malphite. It's all good. All right, well, ThunderTalk, I mean, this is interesting, right? Because kind of the way the draft unfolded in Game 1 threw that first game into disarray, and we ended up with perhaps a last-minute pivot onto Zed as well for ThunderTalk. But this is the comp that I assume they wanted to assemble in Game 1, and they did manage to win that first game, albeit not without a ton of resistance from Sengoku.
Yeah, and I will say, I do think ThunderTalk have really won this draft. Sengoku don't have a bad draft, but it's not very good into this composition. Because ThunderTalk with this Azure Varus just want to keep you at range, keep you in poke distance till they get the combo, then end the game. And they have a great comp for it. And Sengoku need to close the distance to get inside of Varus range, but then they don't have a whole lot of things that can hold up against the full barrage of Moonfall, Nunu, Unstoppable Force, all setting up for the last round.
I love that you say that because I think you've made a couple notes now of like Varus ulti being such a good like disengage tool, and you can engage with it too if you want to, but I think it's better on defense on average than it is on offense. And there is this great ebb and flow in ThunderTalk's comp where they have all the go buttons, right? They got the Yasuo, Malphite, Diana, even Nunu Snowball if it can find a knock up. But then you have Chain of Corruption and Absolute Zero, and it is just mud, glue, walking through the, towards this Varus that you need to get to, otherwise he's gonna arrow you to death.
You can't see it, but Julian did like a little arrow thing. It was like a Cupid bow.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. ThunderTalk absolutely counter Sengoku's ability to distance close. They counter Sengoku's ability to sit inside Corki range, that kind of medium close range, and draw damage. If you're sitting there, you're getting CC'd, you're getting Malphite ulted, and you're losing the team fight. If you sit at long range, you're getting poked. So it comes down to Sengoku's ability to play the map. We need to see good macro. We need to see them pick and choose their fights, manage to dodge the abilities of Z on Yasuo. It's going to be a tough road ahead for Sengoku.
Certainly is, as ThunderTalk looking to complete a day of 2-0s. I believe every single series before this one has been a sweep. That was definitely not my experience yesterday. And I do have full faith in Sengoku to get us to a third game, even though it is going to be a difficult path, given what ThunderTalk have presented now that they fixed the blip on their draft radar from game 1.
Does feel rather silly in retrospect, but
I was like, wait a second, just do it the other way. Oh.
I think they got a little caught up because you want Z to have last pick, right? You're trying to give him counter pick because he's your star player. You just get caught up in that.
Oh, it's top over, by the way. Totally didn't figure that out in the draft, but there we go. It makes sense with Russia's Lee Sin being picked early.
We see a couple of different regions do this. China does this. Korea does this. It's all right. I'm not the biggest fan of Top Olaf, but he's pretty good in the mid-late game team fights. And he's very good into this Diana, because Diana just doesn't have a whole lot of tools that scare him.
Yeah, Feibai actually had a pretty good game last go around. She got ahead of some phases. Z is already dead. Rush with a wonderful gank there. Both jugglers showing up on time, and one looking a little better.
Yeah, Rush able to slide into the lane, and they've got two champions they're like very much, you see, you get a little taste as to why there. Because Rush has set up his ability to tie people down combos very well with Hunk's unerring skill shots. Dejawo just loves doing that, and I love it for him. It's not particularly productive, but stops the arrows, you know.
Good for the mental, you know, on Alistair. Feels fun to do.
You know what? I play Alistair, and you're absolutely right.
All right, let's see how Tactica Z. Oh, of course. Just baited in there by Hawk. Oh, what a satchel.
Wow. What a satchel, and the Rush never shy to burn that flash. Gets in close range, sits on the recast from his Sonic Wave, using the Resonating Strike very late into that in order to finish off the kill. Rush is easily one of the best junglers at this tournament, and you get a taste as to why they're in the mid lane.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, by the way, about all the good junglers is that they're really good at Lee Sin, and Rush is certainly no exception. Looking very slick there in that mid lane play. It's going to be first blood on the other foot this time here for Sengoku.
Single step forward, scaring Hawk away. And one of the things that I'm very impressed by from Hawk's Ziggs every time I see it is he's so good at maintaining that distance. Constantly able to just build that little bit of isolation you need to stay safe from melee rush characters like this Yasuo. He's on a ward.
Yeah, it's a good point. Chris is going to navigate the snowball around. Rush so easily able to dash away.
It's like, god damn, I'm on a ward.
What do I do? Oh, I dash out. Everything's fine. Nice champion, Chris. You have to walk to me. I had to teleport around.
I would be in huge trouble if I didn't have 3 dashes.
Yeah. Pretty good there, as things are a little slowish. I guess we've been spoiled for early games, I feel like, today in general.
I like it.
But I do feel like, you know, for all the good of the early game that Sengoku have gotten out, at least in the the very early minutes of this one, we do recognize that ThunderTalk have things kind of locked up in the 5v5.
Yeah, and Sengoku always want to play to this 2v2 and Rush will just either farm or gank the 2v2, and he tends not to do much else. You're seeing the former here as Rush kind of sits in the jungle, farms up, tries to stay big as Lee Sin. You need to stay ahead of the enemy jungle farm in order to do mid and like game damage as Lee Sin. And Rush is really good at that. You pointed out during game number 1, he like randomly had the most gold in the game. Got that again here.
What a catch out of S12K. Rush in trouble, ignited, but not going to be felled as S12K is going pretty deep to try and get the damage done. Set up there with Chris, but not enough for the kill.
Yeah, and it opens up Drake, which is arguably more important than the kill here. It is only a Cloud Drake, so probably the least impactful of the Drakes, but it does mean that ThunderTalk get that little bit of advantage. The Elder win condition gets a little bit more deadly. Sengoku, if they want to counterpunch, should focus in on this Rift Herald on the top, exploit the reset timer of ThunderTalk. That's exactly what they're doing. ThunderTalk taking a second to get back out on the map, showing Chris down bottom. And so Rift Herald will go 1-for-1 in objective training.
Oh goodness, they do a re-engage there, but not much there. Doesn't quite catch them both, despite belting on in.
It's a fast point.
It is. I've seen a lot of Yeet belt supports today, which I'm definitely all here for. Even ones I didn't expect as much, like Thresh.
Yeah. I think if you're viewing these characters not for their ability to tank, which again, very few characters in the game have to keep her package,
Yes,
get in range to auto-attack Azure.
I like it. That's a show of strength.
That's incredible. That's the grind set right there. Incredible aggression from one. But yeah, if you're viewing these tank supports not necessarily as tanks, but as sources of CC in their primary value, then it makes a lot of sense to do things like Proto Belt. That's why you see things like Galio, Thresh go boots first, because it's kind of hard to tank in Wild Rift. And when you can't tank, you gotta land that CC.
I was gonna say it's kind of hard to tank, except for Malphite, but S12K is, he's a support, he's going rower. Not really a tank either.
I mean, he's a rock.
He is a rock. We did see a rather large rock in the last game. Caused some problems for the Sengoku DPS.
If you go Gargoyles, that's basically the first tank out of Oh dear, Chris.
Such a good bait here out of Sengoku.
Wow.
And Rush with the easy kickback. It's Chris absolute zero. And it's absolute zero health. There's one. Hawk's gonna grab it.
Got him. Nice pastry. One
Had to get one in there.
One was in trouble down at the bottom side, but he's able to Valkyrie away. And the combination means that Sengoku trade positively here on ThunderTalk aren't even going to get a whole lot out of the bot lane pressure that they tried to afford during that time. So really good setup in mid. Again, Rush finding those isolated picks through their three-man core, Dejuo, Rush, and Hawk. And it's a good sign for Sengoku in the mid game. Unlike game one, though, don't feel so great about their 5v5s.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing we'll keep coming back to here, but even with these kills, this is a very nice one to watch, so we will see it again. I mean, Chris is like rolling it down here in mid, trying to set it up for Azure, and Dejuo knows all too well that Dudu wanted a piece of that.
Chris, just dead, just checkmated. There's very little you can do once you take the bait there. And ThunderTalk don't lose a whole lot for that. Oh, this is good.
V1 here for Z. Windwall gonna block a lot of the incoming Corki missiles.
No, thank you. And with that denial, I was just gonna say, ThunderTalk don't lose a whole lot for losing their jungler. Chris is basically a tank here. He's not looking to deal huge damage. Real focus Sengoku need to deliver on is getting gold onto Hawk and Rush, and shutting down as best they can Azure and Z.
Decent damage there on the mid lane outer, thanks to that Rift Herald, but not getting a tower fully out of the deal is, hurts a little, but they'll probably get it later. It's an investment for the future. Oh, great flash out of Z, my goodness, as Dejuo was rushing in there with a Proto Belt.
So the other thing, to kind of flip side it, the thing ThunderTalk need to do is find a 5v5, find a fight. And they just haven't been able to do that so far, as Sengoku have done a very good job of playing them across the map and refusing to teamfight them. ThunderTalk need to sync up a little bit more in terms of vision, I think. They're seeing very scattered warding, unable to really get any sense of where Sengoku are on the map before they emerge from the bush angry. And that needs to change.
Well, if there is a time to force a 5v5, what do you feel about Infernal Drake? Yeah, it seems like a good battle site, but unfortunately Malphite took a recall. This reset might cost them a very precious objective.
The take isn't fast enough for Sengoku, so I do agree ThunderTalk had a really awkward timing on the reset. But Sengoku don't burn it down, so we get a fight for this.
That is Hawk locked up, flashing out of there, but gets ignited out of the deal.
Wow!
Back in, but Kai, they took it out. Immediately looked for the junk from the Olaf, and that's the top laner just taking him out.
Yeah, Kai rolls up into the mid lane, and combined with the burst of damage from him and Hawk, they absolutely shred the effort. And now a player up has 12k down. ThunderTalk are zoned back.
Everybody dancing back around.
Drake being taken.
Trying to force the fight. They are going to grab the Drake, though, but can they get anything more? The teamfight is maybe what they want. There's Z with the ulti in mid, but he can't get a kill just yet. Looking for him.
Wow!
Gets nothing. Kai is going to live through it. Dejuo not so lucky, but hey, that's a trade they'll take.
Kai flashing ahead of the piercing arrow. Here's the cleanup attempt, just short from Fei-Bai. Only one player dies. That's Dejuo in exchange for an Infernal Drake. And Sengoku take that trade.
Also going to get more here. One, and the bottom side is going to get one. That Q rolling on down as maybe some extra kills to be had as Rush is low but not dead. The first tower, though, does go to the Corki. One takes that out. Rift Herald, though, picked up here by Chris. And now they're going to trade for top. In fact, they don't need to use the Herald just yet. Going to get this tower first.
Good cold swing for ThunderTalk, and that brings things back under their control. Again, their team fights are terrifying if they can force them, and we got a little taste of that there as the bursts of damage coming up from Z at this point are almost unstoppable. That's why Sengoku, rather than take the 5v5, try and force a split, sending 3 players to kind of bait underneath the turret, the rest of their team busy in side lanes on that dragon. That's the Sengoku playbook for the rest of this game. Try and avoid the team fight at all cost. Find those skirmishy picks around your core. Hawk, Rush, and whoever's with them.
And you highlighted in draft that Sengoku would need to be, very good on their macro this game, and certainly are showing that here through the first 10 minutes.
Good find, turret.
Now looking for the tower. Deju though, looking for the angle. Oh, great bit of stasis there for Azua. A little early, but good enough to protect you from the engage. And even though Hawk does a lot of damage with the 2-item ulti, it's not enough to one-shot the Varus, thankfully.
Sengoku feel confident going for that because Z is sighted down in the bot lane. He's on one of his side lane farming expeditions, as he frequently is. And Sengoku say, cool, we're not scared of anyone on this team if the Yasuo isn't here. Press in the mid lane, use their range, and just burn down the turret. The Rift Herald, as a result, ends up getting spent to equalize as opposed to earn an advantage.
This top K is just so aggressive. Deju gonna make him pay. The punish is there on the table. Over we go with the Malphite ulti, but Hawk maybe can look for something, or isn't gonna find it though.
Yeah, you see why he's so aggressive. It's just impossible to shut down a Malphite. He didn't even have to burn Flash in that whole exchange. He ate so much damage. Ooh.
There's a lot of this in this bottom lane, I've noticed from
He's
ThunderTalk.
recalling. In the open.
Okay, one, he figured it out. Doesn't get caught shopping. Not slain by Boris.
Z. Wow, they're just desperate. They just really want Z to be able to find a target, and Sengoku are shadowboxing him. Every time Z tries to go in for a fight, tries to find a side lane skirmish, he's denied.
And still, with how much back and forth there is, this gold is so close. I love how Sengoku are playing it here, but this could get dicey. S12K zooming on in, no ulti though. It's a 4v3 right now, but it's not going to be that for much longer.
Yeah. Look at this from Sengoku. The second they realize, this fight's taking a little bit of while. ThunderTalk are willing and eager to fight this. They try and back away. They're trying to disengage. We'll see if they can get away with it. Z kind of trying to play the joke. Oh my. Hawk. Ready to go. Already got a ward in that bush, throwing some bombs over the wall. Making sure that ThunderTalk aren't able to spring their trap. Yeah,
love how Sengoku are approaching this game, trying to avoid them and pick intelligent fights, but we're still, a while away from breaking this game really open. We've split those first few drakes. We haven't had a big team fight to burst into a massive gold lead, and this game is going to go late. So even though ThunderTalk have that 5v5, they need to find that 5v5, as you've said.
Yeah, they have the 5v5 win in their pocket, but it's no good having a coupon if you can't get to the store.
Before it expires. That's a tragedy. Didn't get your favorite sandwich.
You get a sandwich coupon?
Oh, absolutely. It's the best.
Wild. You do have kind of that coupon expiring here as one completes his second item, heading towards the third. He has huge damage here. See if they can use it.
Drake looks like it's in the hand of ThunderTalk, but Sengoku on the fight instead. Ziggs ulti is going to find S12K. Looks to try and find the combo, but the package goes in.
Look at
Azua once again is trying to make it happen. Goes Golden trying to defend himself, but he can't do it. The wraparound is there, but Z is going to try and find it. Doesn't get the tornado. That's not what he wanted. Can't find the kills. And the team fight win is there. Kind of for Sengoku. 3 for 2, not bad.
Beautiful team fight for Sengoku. ThunderTalk lose the fight. Yes, they get the dragon. Normally, that would be a win, but Z dying there is devastating.
Watch it once again in the X replay as they thread the needle here for Sengoku.
The full frontline focus takes out S12K, and watch Z here. He waits for Wong to spend Valkyrie second time, goes, this is an easy kill, flashes in, and they try and combo with the Moonfall. Unfortunately, Deadwell has other ideas, perfectly interrupting Z, stopping him from capitalizing on the Moonfall, and then keeping him CC chained whilst Hawk shuts him down.
Well, as a note, we did see briefly in the picture-in-picture that the quiet overachiever for ThunderTalk continues to be Faye Bai. Forgot about Faye, TJ, but he does take down the Ziggs.
Yeah. He's just hanging out, the longest-serving member of this roster, the only original member of this roster. He's stuck with the team through 2 different massive roster shuffles. The second one often caused by visa issues here, and you see why. A solid, consistent player, the kind of player you need to back up somebody like Z. Keeps ThunderTalk in this, shutting down Hark, who is scaling very scarily towards that inevitable Zig spike in the late game.
It does feel like if the game goes late, we are looking at Zig's Corky, if they can get positions to shoot the members of ThunderTalk before everyone gets comboed into oblivion.
This is overextension.
S12K looking for Deja Vu here alongside Chris. We got Z a little late to the party.
Ooh.
Great kick to disengage out of Sengoku.
Back the way you came from. Good denial from Rush. I was pretty sure Deja Vu was dead, but Rush isn't afraid to step back up into a dangerous situation in order to stop ThunderTalk from getting a man advantage. ThunderTalk are being held at bay by the threat of the skirmish, by the threat of the flank at this point. And they, knowing that a player has recalled, feel confident to take a little more vision control, which is very good for them. The more control of this map they have, the more likely they are to force a favorable team fight, which is, of course, all they need to end this game. ThunderTalk are just one good team fight away from the game being over at this point.
You know, to go back to Feibai briefly, it's not just that he's been consistent, he's consistently found his way to the highest earning member of this game here. Has the gold lead for himself as Chris is zooming down onto Deja Vu. But again, it is the long game here. It is the Baron. It is the big fight that ThunderTalk are trying to find, trying to coax Sengoku into.
And Sengoku can't turn it down this time. They have to stop this Baron take. Which means that for the first time this game, they must fight. They have to take the 5v5. They have to stop Z from gaining access to Hawk, or Deja Vu for that matter. Keep Hawk and Juan safe in the backlines of this fight. As long as those two players are alive, this is winnable for Sengoku.
Well, Juan with great package timing all game long here does have it up for this Baron, but maybe ThunderTalk will be patient, wait it out. It is a while, but you can prevent it from happening as Z and Chris are going to start the Baron.
That's a quick take. Z's going to melt this Baron at this point.
Feibai as well.
Bit.
Oh, this is the zoning. Rush now. He's going to maybe be the target. Feibai wants it. Z goes back, dancing back through. S12K, ulti at the ready. The choke points are there. It's looking a little dicey. Chris also a little bit low on health. Zig's ulti's massive. In goes the other. Now the engage needs to be found here for Sengoku. The front line is going to go down. S12K now just disengaging for the rest of the fight as Z does get the tornado, but he can't follow up.
And it's just a bombardment from range. Late game, Zig's Corky over the wall. At long distance, ThunderTalk just get melted. And they don't get the chance to teamfight yet again, despite being around the Baron.
Still close, the Elder Ocean up. That is a bad time for S12K to be dead. And Z is trying to take the game into his own hands. He finds the solo kill, rides all the way down the minion wave, and just elegantly slices two members of Sengoku.
They need to make a play here. Hawk, Rush, Deja Vu, no, the game's on the line.
They're going to have to go for it, like you said. The Zig's ulti chunks the Azure out massively. Deja Vu finds to re-engage it. Z once again going to try and save the day. Onto Rush he goes, but he gets himself kicked, and that's the kill. But now Feibai, the longest standing member, going to try and keep them here around this Baron. There's the revive. The GA is down. Deja Vu in trouble. Hawk has got no health to play with. Feibai going to chase down the Alistar. Rush dips his way out, but straight into the waiting arms of Feibai's Diana.
Jungler down now for Sengoku. That could be the Elder. And ThunderTalk make a beeline towards it. For the second time in 2 games, it's Z in the late game who brings his team to an advantage.
Always finds a way to pick off a carry when you need him most.
Half HP, the only hope here is a steal from Hawk. Will it be perfectly timed?
Can Team Smite Nunu?
No.
I think not.
And that is a very good sign for ThunderTalk. I will refrain from calling the game here, but I think it is very safe to say that Z put some nails in the coffin with those 2 picks, just running down the mid lane, really putting the team on the line.
It never ends. In fact, maybe it's Sengoku that's found it. Here is a stasis there. Feibai gets out. They need to save the rest of the squad. The rest 12K flashing out to safety. Chris
No
to spot the
kills.
stone plate and run away. And he's just
alone.
going absolutely nuts. 1v4. He's trying to make it happen. The snowball back in. That's not what he's looking for. Used
That's
everything.
huge.
Gets Chris killed as well. Dead out the front of the pit.
Z gives and Z takes. He walks forward as his team's already dead, as his team has no cooldowns. And that's going to be a massive mistake for ThunderTalk as Sengoku find a kill onto the only scary opponent, Z, onto the only opponent with a smite, Chris. And they're going to take the Baron as a result. And this gives them a chance, an opportunity to stay in this game, to win this game. It is a very short window pastry. It is this Baron and no longer.
Azure had the read, felt it in his soul with the Q, and it just wasn't the timing he was looking for. And he was blind, completely blind, trying to steal it, but that doesn't happen. No miracle bailout there from the Varus Q. It is Sengoku with this Baron, with the last window into this game here. They need to knock down some towers. They need to try and open up the supers. They need a big opening here in this game. It has been neck and neck for so long, for 20 minutes, and it needs to not be there any longer.
And most importantly, they need to win a fight. They need to get kills in order to do any of that. Because full respawns are up. ThunderTalk are here to defend their turrets, and Sengoku must kill them in order to advance.
Got the damage. If they can protect Hawk and 1, they can make it happen. There's 2 out of S12K. Z just diving into the back line. No, not yet. It's an absolute barrage as 1 is trying to package his way out to safety, but Azua gets the kill. He's staying alive, but 1, he's also still there, and Z gets crushed again, and 1 is making it sing right now on the Corki as the carries live and Sengoku keep charging towards the Nexus.
This could be game. 40 seconds on Z and Azure. There's not a whole lot of damage left for ThunderTalk. It's all down to Payby as the TPs come in, as Rush looks for a flank.
And this is it. Hawk is putting it all in here with the teleport back through. Gonna try and at least knock down these towers, but the game could be there. Ziggs does so much damage to structures.
20 seconds on Z and Azure. The 2 key respawns. As here comes 2. Baron Wave.
That's not enough time. I don't think they can do it. ThunderTalk are going to have to play a 3rd game. And Olaf, he just pops Ragnarok and slaps down the Nexus. We are going to have a 3rd game, TJ.
We've got game 3 as Sengoku from Japan take down ThunderTalk in an upset, yes. But an upset that brings us to a very dicey game 3.
Only 50% of an upset, TJ. You have to win 2 in a best of 3. I love the celebration, love the energy out of Sengoku after that game. It has been 2 back-to-back 20-minute bangers between these 2 teams, and I'm very glad to report we're going to get a 3rd one.
Hawk arm in arm with Juan as they walk off stage there, carrying each other, carrying the team to that victory. What a performance from the 2 damage dealers over on Sengoku as they spent the entire game getting kills without taking fights. That was a demonstration of map play mastery that no other team has matched.
Beautiful games in both of this series so far, and I think I'm starting to notice the trend. Whatever we identify as the thing that they can't do, the other team figures out a way to do it. We thought the Zed was dead in game number 1 and Z figured it out, and we thought they couldn't win a 5v5 and Sengoku figured that out too.
That was into Elder. That's the first win I think I've ever seen in competitive where a team gets Elder and then loses. And it wasn't even like the coin flip, oh, you got Elder and then lost the team fight. They fought into the Elder buff twice and won both times.
Had to fight for the Baron there as well, had to fight for it all, and had to fight for the game 3, which we do have. But for more on that win, let's check in now with the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Woo!
Thank you very much, TJ and Pastry. What a game here, and we knew that this was going to be a good series. We knew that ThunderTalk Gaming was one of the talks of the town. We didn't know exactly what to expect from our dark horse pick, Sengoku Gaming, and they have shown up huge here, Scoundrel.
Oh, man, look, credit where credit is due. Rush is a beast. That man on Lee Sin is getting my...
I will say a small piece of criticism. Whether by coincidence or design, he did overplay some of those spots. And I don't know if he had to or he felt like he had to.
Yeah. I think we definitely do see the limits of ThunderTalk in that game, to be frank, because Z needs to find those great dive kills down mid in order to give them control of the game. And because of that, he overplays the fight. He feels like he needs to keep finding that aggression and maybe throws the game away with a step too far forward outside the Baron pen.
And right, you know, Z's playing well, Feibai is playing consistently. They have all the pieces, they just need to put it together a little bit more. For Sengoku, their experience they're leaning on right now. They're putting it together even in very challenging games.
We do a side swap here. Sengoku take to the right-hand side, the red side. They'll have the second 2 picks during this draft. It was ThunderTalk's pick, I believe, because they did lose that last game, so they will get first pick. A pick they spend on Renekton for Feibai. well into the evening in Singapore, where these teams are playing. You can see the horizon there. That's more reminiscent of what's going on outside our studio here in LA, where as the sun has risen, we're well into the morning as these games go very late. And wow, this is very
Ooh,
good.
Ari.
The quintessential duelist for Sengoku, and it comes out largely in response to what's coming out on the opposite side. This Ari is going to be very capable into Diana and the Varus, because whilst both of those characters are defensive, they're very good at stopping characters from running towards them. Chain of Corruption, you have Moonfall, very good at stopping full team engages. Ari doesn't care about that. She can weave around the side, land a charm, and pull people out of formation. It's a similar effect to Twisted Fate, but much better in the 1v1.
Yeah, as far as like kind of headline chance of Wild Rift, and also you want to see skill expression from the mid lane, Ari is the poster child for that kind of play.
I cannot believe that we're drafting more mid laners over on ThunderTalk.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Z has apparently got pockets deeper than you could ever imagine.
And this is going to be a pretty direct response. God, this has to be Jungle Diana.
Yep.
This is going to be a pretty direct response to the Ari. I will say, Twisted Fate matches Ari in map play in mid-late game. Twisted Fate has a really rough time in lane into Ari. So this could go very bad. It feels frankly a little disrespectful if you end up putting the Twisted Fate into Hawk's Ari, because there's a very good chance Hawk just steps up and delivers.
Especially alongside Rush's Nunu this time around is going to be, of course, the forever 2v2 there on the Sengoku side. Also, I think the one thing to note is, Twisted Fate, kind of like his Orianna in that way, this game is not about Z. He will impact the game very heavily, but Azure or Feibai have to get going, maybe even Chris, but like, Twisted Fate you pick to enable your teammates, not to be the superstar.
Well, there is a window around the mid game, right? And you're broadly right. There, I will say, and I'm saying this only because it is Z, there is a window around the 8-minute mark where you finish the second item. It's Lich Bane, because there's no way Z builds a utility build.
Yep.
So you go Rod of Ages, you go Lich Bane, and in that window, if you start popping off, if you start finding kills, you can get ahead of the gold curve and stay there. And at that point, Twisted Fate does pretty scary single target damage. He's one of the best burst kind of assassin characters in the game. You then complete rapid fire cannon, and you could do it from range. So ThunderTalk could win from this Twisted Fate in the mid lane, but you're broadly right. They need to win off of the combos. This is a team play composition. You want to land gold cards, line it up with Chain of Corruption, the Death Sentence, use the Moonfall on top of that, Renekton's done. It's a CC chain composition out of ThunderTalk, the likes of which we see very often in Vietnam. And it's going to rely on their ability to team play, something they were losing in during last game to Sengoku.
Yeah, I was going to say, ThunderTalk has shown us their star power, shown us, the ability to cobble together when they have some unexpected changes coming into Horizon Cup, but definitely haven't shown the team play yet. So if they want to continue staying undefeated here, want to take their second series in similarly dramatic fashion, I might add, against a very fearsome opponent in Sengoku, who have certainly come to play on their first outing on this stage in Singapore, then they're going to have to do it together.
Game number 3. Sengoku, former world champions, come to play here in Wild Rift.
Oh, gold card not found. Blue card instead. Play there for S12K. but level 1 does not find a cheeky kill.
I wonder if Hawk leveled early, because you're supposed to sit on your skill until you know which one you're going to use. And if he had Charm there, that might have gotten spicy. So I wonder if he leveled up early.
Perhaps we'll never know.
Happens to the best of us.
We'll have to see. Is he getting aggressive? Deji would have loved this punish. Was not the charm. Is Q instead.
Dejuel, a quiet star of this series, consistently finding engage on his Alistar. The Rakan doesn't have the pseudo-tank functionalities of Wild Rift's Alistar, but does have longer ranged engage. And it will, of course, help boost this Xayah in lane.
We're curious to see how Rush handles the other side of the jungle matchup too. Nunu, not something we've seen from him, but we've seen it. Definitely on Chris's side, he can be extremely active. Which again is something that you're going to want to do, and yeah, this is the snowball I was expecting, as he's going to have to push him out of the lane here.
Rush shows up, demonstrates to Z how advanced his snow crafting skills are, and that's just going to keep Z pinned behind the turret. It's already going to happen. This lane matchup is basically just defined by can Hawk find a charm, and if Hawk lands a sneaky charm, then it's very possible Z dies. Otherwise, Z's just going to be trying to clear this wave as fast as possible until he hits around level 5, at which point he's going to be trying to get out of lane. Because where he does beat Fari is in his map, in fact. Twisted Fate's ability to arrive in the side lanes is terrifying in the hands of somebody as mechanically skilled as Z.
Feibai also, of note, did get this Renekton, so they're going for the kill here in topside. Gold card locked. Kai doesn't deflect. They insta-stun him though. Great setup there from ThunderTalk, and that is the first blood for Z.
Does need the TP to do exactly what I just laid out. The arrival of Z in the side lane heralds a gold lead for ThunderTalk, and that's the game plan.
And I was going to say, like, Feibai got a lot of prio in this draft, and he's delivering there, but Deju, once again, continuing to look good here. Finds the engage on Rakan, but they'll let them have it. Azura is just going straight into the Xayah.
Didn't win the trade, but did scare Juan away. Juan very good across this series as well, and he may very well become a decisive plan in this late game.
Revisit on the top side situation. And that's just nice and easy. Very well set up there by Feibai with the lane state. And then a nice collapse there from ThunderTalk to make sure that kill goes the right way.
The Xayah character is kind of similar to Varus in that you really want to play defense. You want to sit back and let people walk over your fenders so that your blade cooler can provide value. And it's kind of hard to play Xayah as a chase character.
Ooh, wow, Chain of Corruption going for it, but here's Rush. Bad timing for the potential play, but perhaps it is Twisted Fate that can turn it around. But doesn't find it. Instead, tries to interrupt Hawk, basically. Charm lands. Hawk maybe can follow it up. Does have Flash Ignite, has it all ready to go. But not yet.
Hold up the gold card like a FIFA ref. Instantly, you just gotta walk away.
Don't want to get a second one.
No.
Get sent off straight back
Absolutely
to the fountain.
not. Sengoku, as a result, are carted off. They walk away. Hawk doesn't find the play he wants. He does force a reset out of Z. I was going to talk a little bit more about Xayah. Of course, I highlight the limitations there. But the flip side of that is, unlike Azura's Varus, Juan is going to do a terrifying amount of late-game teamfight damage. Xayah hurts once she hits 2-3 items. And if they can set up defensively around the dragon, and we've seen Sengoku's mastery of the macro this series, they will probably win late-game teamfights kind of by default.
I guess Tokyo taking a little bit of poke, but nothing too alarming there as Chris and Rush are battling for the Scuttle Crab, like an Iron Chef episode. But the rest of Sengoku coming to play, that's not allowed in Kitchen Stadium. And the Scuttle Crab is going to go over to Rush, who wins the battle.
Have you ever seen the Japanese version of
Of
Iron
course.
Chef? That's perfect reference. I love it. Sengoku bringing exactly the same energy. And this Rift Herald, which has been the primary objective for most of this tournament, is going to go over to Sengoku. The benefit, of course, being that they can redistribute that gold as they like. And I think they're going to want to put that onto Juan this game.
You're already starting the trade here, you can see. Trying to poke it out here. I like this. Actually, Feibai going in. He got the kill. Can they get it as well? They do. They steal it. Azua's able to find it. That's going to be a win on both sides of the Rift. ThunderTalk just going off around the Herald.
Hawk's found one on the opposite side and he's still going.
Oh, that charm block there. I don't know if it was intentional, but it does save Chris's life as Z's able to grab the kill after the Drake.
And ThunderTalk winning 3 points across the rift. Here's the first. Up here on the top side of the map, Tejuo holding defensive, but they don't notice how close and how scary Feibai is getting. He just eats them alive, a crocodile in the river, and there's nothing that can be done about it. Their AD carry demolished. On the opposite side, Hawk tries to get fancy and gets denied. Very good stall out from Chris, and Z arrives in time to punish Hawk's aggression.
Very well done there for ThunderTalk. Incredible series of plays as their camp will celebrate there. Watching onwards, probably pretty tense, given that we're in game 3. 6 minutes through, 6 kills already, and that gold lead is disgusting from ThunderTalk.
And watch where it is in specific. It's over on Z, which means that it is impossible to win 1v1 duels at this state. This is the most terrifying Twisted Fate possible. And Sengoku need to last till the late game. This is a stalling game for them now. Don't let ThunderTalk run away with this. Make the game last as long as possible. Hope that Hawk and Juan can carry your late game team fights when you get there, because you're sure not winning into Z, into the forehead of Azure.
Feibai as well, the other big recipient of that goal, but will hold that thought. Lantern out there for the Twisted Fate's going to make this siege very straightforward, but here's the counterplay. Azure going to be the target. Engage instantly there as the flash is not enough. Very well done by Dejiwu again.
Hawk too close though.
Gets hooked, no follow-up. It's just not enough champions in the area. Still the 2v4.
Watch this roam to top side. They badly want to grab Feibai and Chris.
Twisted Fate ulti up as well, remember. Chris dancing around, goes back in towards Rush, dodges out the snowball, very nicely done. And there's Twisted Fate, can they turn it back around? Rush knows he's in trouble, but it's mid lane that they're going for. They're actually going for the dive there as S12K gets the flay. He's tanking so many tower shots. Is he taking too many? He's gonna live the Lantern there to save the day as well.
And chaos on the map as Sengoku fold once again onto Feibai. Gold card, dealt.
Z again going through out of mana now though, as they're just going for it. Azure just yeeting on in, whips out the Chain of Corruption and still no kills.
Finally though, Rift Herald will be summoned here in the mid lane, and this turret will just collapse. No Rift Herald needed, which means that ThunderTalk have earned a significant gold advantage out of this series of plays. They managed to walk away from this around a 5,000, 6,000 gold lead at this point, which is going to keep growing because it's very difficult now for Sengoku to access the map. It's going to be doubly hard for them to push wave, it's going to be doubly hard for them to access their own jungle, and triply hard to find this next objective, the second Rift Herald of the game.
Well, this is the moment you highlighted, TJ. There is the 2-item Twisted Fate, well ahead of schedule here at 8 minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes, he's got bonus gold, he's got the second item in that Lich Bane. The next item you're looking to complete normally is the Rapid Fire Cannon, which doesn't add to your AP damage. So the spike, the benefit comes from the fact that he's got so much AP on raw stats right now that he'll be able to use the Rapid Fire Cannon with his full damage.
Good hook there again. That's the lock up onto Deju. Such an easy kill indeed as Chris collects it.
And look at Z, blowing up one.
Oh,
that's
Chris,
2.
beautiful moonfall. Z looking for the gold card. S12K gonna make it sing. Follow-up is not there because Hawk's able to dash away, but that's 2 kills ThunderTalk are looking for.
And this is the dream for ThunderTalk. They managed to snowball their advantage into a free turret as the Rift Herald spawns, as the next Drake spawns, and they have the complete control of this map.
They're doing it again, going for the double up. It's Chris outside the Herald taking that crab. They're just getting kill after kill. Hawk, no, it's Deju again. They just face checks the enemy. You cannot do that at this stage.
2 mistakes in a row from Deju, the most experienced player at this tournament.
He's still going. Finds Hawk there with a gold card there, but Sengoku trying to find his way back. Once again, there is Z dancing with the cards. Now Chris going into the backside. That's a beautiful bit of play on Diana. And now the front line is going to be melted. Z is lining up cards left, right, and center. The Q from Azure is going to find a Feibai rocket belts in. Z, Destiny's over to make sure that happens. 4 kills now on their side.
And Sengoku, oh no, Deju, 3 in a row, he gets hooked.
He almost died 3 times in 30 seconds as ThunderTalk are going to drill down this mid tower.
This should be game. This is an insurmountable lead for ThunderTalk, as they don't quite manage to finish off the turret. 85
One
HP!
auto. And didn't get the Drake either. So we're going to have to reset before that happens, but yes, they certainly will.
An insurmountable lead as we get into the actual replay. You can see an attempt by Juan to turn the fight. He throws out a massive blade cooler, they slow things down, and Rush thinks he can frontline with all his shielding. He's right, but Chris just jumps over his head. And that little game of leapfrog exposes the backline. But now dead, Hawk has no access to the fight, and Z isn't going to give it to him.
And I was going to point it out, but I don't think it's going to matter right now. It is a stasis enchant for Z. So he's not looking for the proto belt safety for the extra range on the gold cards. He's looking to just Destiny in the middle and start the party.
I mean, you're scared of Hawk.
Also true.
Now, you don't want to be charmed, and that buys you the space to do exactly what you were talking about. Get real frisky.
All right, well,
Do you think they get this turret?
gold lead is disgusting. The middle one, yeah, I reckon. There's the Rift Herald in bottom
How long
lane.
do you think until ThunderTalk get that mid turret?
45 seconds.
All right, and we'll hold it you too.
All right,
I feel it's a bit ambitious. I'm not
Let's
going to lie
see.
to you, Pastry.
Someone's going to go hit it. Come on, Payby. Do me proud. All right, trouble in paradise once again. Bottom side knock up there for Deja, who finds two. Chris going to try and find the turnaround, but no one's dead just yet. It's Chris isolated there on the other side. Asaya does get the kill. Rush does a very good job of tanking up the front here, but Fayby has gone absolutely off tap in the back of the team fight. He's going to get him all. The stun is long enough for the fourth kill, and there is the final kill delivered by S12K on a silver platter with the lantern, as Z is going to find the final one for S12K.
And Z, recognizing he doesn't need to bother with Rush, teleporting back into the top side of the fight to guarantee the win.
What did I say? Hey, look at that, 11:46.
That's outside your time limit, and you know it.
All right, well, let's watch this one again.
Full crash in, Z holding the front lines. This starts well for Sengoku. They get the CC chain they wanted up front. But then, as Rush zones, the backline gets threatened. Chris dives in first, shredding the HP of the carries, and Fayby seals the deal, cleaning up Hawk, leaving just Deja Vu and Kai to try and kill him. They might have managed it, but Z teleports in and makes sure there's no way back out.
I love me some Z. I think Azua's been playing great. S12K definitely stepping up as well, but we are going to have to start discussing Fayby at some point, because he is not just the role player on this team, as the battles are happening again. Rush is going to get himself crushed in the front side of the fight as Z grabs it, and Chris is just diving in aggressively. A little too much so as Hawk finds one, but there's two there as Olaf will fall, and now S12K, the hook of a lifetime, double flay, Nexus open. See you later, Sengoku. It's all ThunderTalk here in the series, as they will take it 2-1.
Oh, it gets expensive, it gets dangerous, but ThunderTalk proved why we consider the Chinese teams the best in this tournament. They managed to deliver on a dicey Game 3, getting an early lead and snowballing it, no pun intended, into a dominant victory.
Now, that was a long series, and I think that third game finally got us under the 20-minute mark. And I'm confident I demolished about 4 water bottles in that game alone, if you want to know just how intense the day has been.
He knocked them all over like bowling pins.
Yep, little water bottle graveyard under the desk. Don't look. Don't show production. Hide my shame under the desk.
A little bit of relaxation coming out from ThunderTalk because they leave that desk there. It's a deep sighs of relief, I'm sure. They dominated that Game 3, and they did so off of the same thing that made them look so dominant yesterday versus Team Secret, this incredible ability to turn up the tempo and to force teams to react to their aggression. They got denied it during Game 2. There weren't the tools to do that Game 3, and with the global presence of Z, ThunderTalk are able to just keep forcing fights, keep playing aggressive, and that's what's made them so terrifying so far.
Definitely a team that is really exciting to watch. And I like that we're starting to step beyond.
I will be honest with you, though, their selfie game blows.
They find the player with the longest arms. Yeah, you're up. Do your best. I mean, it's a long series.